What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to PlayStation Generation Episode 11. My name's Matt, and I'll be your host for today's events. I'm joined, as always, by the PlayStation Wayne Gretzky himself, Mr. Court Lalonde. What's up, dude?
Hey, buddy. We've been trying stuff out, Riley. So we're trying new
I would
names.
keep trying.
Monikers. He called me Don Cherry last week, and I was like, okay, I don't want to be compared to that man.
Yeah,
Google him first.
Yeah.
And then he Googled him. Matt was like, all right, we'll take that back.
Yeah.
But I will say this at the beginning of our intro, I love the fact that it ends now on Astro because it didn't on our. It's just fitting now.
It's just fitting. It's just
fitting. It's fitting.
It just fits. Yeah. I called him Don Cherry, not knowing more than that guy talked hockey and wore suits. That was the extent of my knowledge about Don Cherry, and then we backpedaled on that one pretty quickly.
Yeah.
But if Wayne Gretzky is not the one, we'll keep.
Well, Wayne Gretzky is the great one. I wouldn't. That's a lot of So when you play hockey and no one wears 99. And if you wear 99, like even in a men's league, we'll make fun of you for life.
Is it because he scored 99 goals?
I was watching the new episode of Shoresy, and the guy, they were playing the Vaughn team, and the guy's wearing 98, and Shoresy's chirp is all about.
I watched that yesterday.
Dude, so good.
Funny.
That's the best show on television.
Okay, so next week we'll try out other famous hockey player, LeBron James. This week we're joined, as always, by the PlayStation Hokage himself, Mr. Rice Boy. What's up, Rice?
Was good, Matt. Good to be here. Good to see all your beautiful faces. So good to be here. Yeah, this week was a good week. Celebrated my anniversary with my wife yesterday, and 7 years.
Whoa,
7 years.
Look at that.
Good,
7 years.
Good number. Good number.
Good
7.
Number. My favorite number, actually. It's a good number.
Hey.
I gotta say.
And I gotta say, you want?
No. Maybe the amount of feet in the house if one of us turns into a pirate.
Touche.
And speaking of pirates, Riley Little's joining us.
Yeah.
You guys love pirates. He's about to platinum a game, people.
Yeah, Sea of Thieves. I'm so close. I'm 2 trophies away from platinuming Sea of Thieves.
Ooh.
What's up, Riley? Thanks for coming and hanging out with us.
Yeah,
today.
Thanks for having me.
Well,
not much is going on. Just
not
so
much
close
is
to platinuming Sea of Thieves.
Honestly,
Yeah.
that is huge. There's a lot of trophies in Sea of Thieves. There's a poop ton.
Has there been one that you've been like, this one is driving me insane, and then you finally popped it, or is that one still on the horizon?
So there's one right now that's like you have to reach level 25 with an emissary, but it's like it's frustrating because it didn't carry over my progress from the Xbox. So I've cleared like level 50 with 3 of the emissaries already. So I'm like, that's not popping. I have to do it with a separate one now. So I'm like, okay,
right.
Like that's a bit annoying to me. But once I pop that, I'll be there.
Well, it was kind of weird because some popped. Because the first time I was playing it, I played it with Riley, and like they're popping on the screen, and then I go into my Xbox profile, and I'm like, they didn't all pop. Son of a.
We played with Joe Neat, who's the one of the creative directors for the game.
It was unbelievable.
Cool. Yeah.
It was a very, very cool experience. And also, I got to get my sea legs back because I'm not good at the game. Riley is good at the game. Joe is very good at the game. So it was, but that's what I do love about Sea of Thieves because I'm still playing it now. Actually, for 3 Dads, we just started like a crew. So we're going to be trying to play while we're doing the show every Wednesday. Cool. And I love the fact that it doesn't matter about your skill level or your knowledge because you can pick it up pretty quickly, but everybody helps everybody. Anytime I've ever played with anybody, everybody helps. So like, just do this.
Really?
It's frustrating.
Anytime you play with anybody?
Except Matt. Let's be honest. But Matt just likes causing chaos.
Well, it's also my ADHD would not let me sit still long enough. And Court literally got to the point where he's like, can you stop moving? Put the controller down. There is nothing happening right now. Just stop jumping on everything. And I'm like, nope, gonna keep doing it.
Like talking to a toddler.
100%. Like I said, dad mode Court came out full stop. The octave dropped a bit. It was just as emotionless as possible. He was upset, but he wasn't trying to show it. And it was just like, Matt, can you please stop moving around?
Speaking of dad mode, because my wife doesn't listen to this, but so my daughter got us matching t-shirts. So mine says dad girl and hers says daddy's little girl. So yesterday we had a daddy daughter day. So once a month we have a day where we spend the day together, just me and her. So yesterday was our day and she wanted to go to the mall. She likes going to Old Navy. She likes going to, she's an 8-year-old girl. She likes going shopping. She likes doing that stuff. Dude, I got talked to by so many women yesterday. It was unbelievable. I haven't felt like that since I was in my 20s.
Is it because you had daddy spot across your chest?
Dad girl, so Starbucks compliments.
Dad girl or girl dad?
Girl dad. Sorry, you're right.
Okay.
The shirt I was wearing yesterday. You saw the pictures. Yeah, sorry.
And behind it says Zaddy.
Yeah. And so I came home and my daughter was explaining it to my wife, and the look on her face was just not fun. Like I'm telling, didn't matter where we went in the mall. I'm getting great shirt. Like people just come up and talk to us. My wife said, "Do you have your ring on?" I was like, "Oh, thank God." I was like, "Yes, I
did." Close one.
But it was like, I'll tell you this, Matt. Get the shirts. It's like unbelievable. It just makes you feel good. That's all I'm gonna say.
Bro, I'm perusing the Crocs, the Crocs selection right now. That's where I'm at in my dad journey. Okay.
So comfy.
There are Spider-Man Crocs on sale, and you better believe I am staring at them. But this, of course, is not the Crocs cast, but we will come back to Crocs at the end of this episode because on this week's show, we're going to be talking State of Play. We're going to be talking about Destiny. We're going to be talking about PSVR 2 and a whole lot more. So strap in and prepare thyself for the adventure of the century. But let's kick things off, as we always do, with a little bit of what's been keeping our attention lately. And Riley, you kicked us off talking about Sea of Thieves. Is there anything else that's been keeping you busy lately?
Multiverses. So that just came out again last week, and I've been playing a ton of that, and it's really fun.
Are you enjoying it? Because I feel like there's like differing opinions on
there is
with the changes that's been made.
I feel different ways about it. I feel like there's a lot of promise. I feel like it's this close to being a very good game. Like it's so close. Like some of the finance issues are a little different. Like, so I'm not vibing like the different currencies for different things.
Yeah.
Some of they're like basic things. Like I'd like to look at the stats at the end of the game because like there's so many, I mean, we're talking about trophies before, but trophies tied to stats or like certain challenges every day that are tied to accomplishing certain things. So it's like, I would like to kind of see what I'm doing wrong or doing better. Like I get very competitive that way. But outside of that, like just some basic stuff, like the outline of the characters, I feel like kind of takes away from the models, like little things like that I think they're going to iron out pretty quickly. But I think we're so close to having it be a really cool game. In the last batch of characters that they have Joker, Banana Guard from Adventure Time, which is a crazy one, Jason from Friday the 13th, who kind of looks like, I don't know, maybe Halloween.
Hockey Mask would work for sure.
And then Agent Smith from Matrix. So it's like the diversity of the characters is really cool.
I thought I even saw people like data mining it to see what like the new characters are. So they
that's
create like
they're
them themselves who created the game, or like they'll have to watch what they put in there because they know as soon as they put the name in, it's over. Everybody knows.
I don't know why they thought that wouldn't be the case.
Agreed.
You know, like Smash Brothers fans are
forever.
so passionate about that. They're looking up code names. They're finding like leaks and like you
voice
study
lines.
That stuff.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, look what happened to X-Defiant. Like I don't know if we're going to talk about it, but like everything got leaked. What's coming up next?
Yep.
Yeah.
They literally updated it this week, and boom, every data miner was like, "So here's the new drop."
Yep. I have to ask because I heard Court ask this, and now I'm curious too. Who is your main
right now? Shaggy.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah,
Shaggy's a good.
I hopped in as well, and I've been messing around with it. And I similarly, I think there's a lot that's going for it. I've been mucking all around the spot with Harley Quinn. She's my girl. She's fun to play with. But I do like I went back and I was like, okay, let me hop into like a training mode because I still don't remember all of her moves exactly the way that I was playing with back in the beta. There's no training mode. There's no way to mess around with these characters that are locked and that you have to pay for. And I do think that each character is expensive, that there's stuff that I think needs to be worked out because the core gameplay is fun. And I think it like, especially just like hopping in and just like, you know, beating the crap out of people left, right, and center is great. It nails that part of the formula. But I think there's so much around the game that needs to be figured out that just like, I'm like, I don't want to learn by doing in the middle of a mission. And sure, you can hop into the single player and do stuff there. But I was kind of like, why isn't this here? Because correct me if I'm wrong. Wasn't it there in the beta?
Yeah, they definitely had a training mode
right
prior to the relaunch.
Like it's just strange, but I hope you continue to like it, Riley, because Multiverses, I hope it finds its legs.
I think it's just kind of like tiding me over until Smash Brothers comes back.
Yeah,
like that's exactly what it's doing. Because like once that comes out, like the production value, the mechanics of those characters, the way Sakurai approaches that, like it's just like not even comparable.
They do the thing before it needs to be redone, pretty much.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, they launch it knowing it's already much better than anything else on the market.
Let me ask you this then, before we move on here. Are we going to see Smash first, or are we going to see PlayStation All-Stars Battle Royale 2 first?
Smash first.
Damn. I know
Yeah,
you're
I
probably
think
right. I just can't give up the hopes that game will come back one day. But
Yeah, I
I'm
know.
also very excited on the next Smash.
Well, they kind of they wrapped development on Ultimate, and then they kind of brought it back with Spirit events out of nowhere years later, and everyone's like, "Why are you doing that?" So my assumption is they're working on a new one already. So
I know. I'm excited. We still have to go at it at Smash because I'm told you're very good.
Yeah. So I'm very good, and I'm trying to be as humble as I can about this.
No,
Like,
I've
it's
heard of
not
your
even
legend,
fair.
sir.
That's what I mean.
It's
I've
not
heard the
even
And
fair.
story.
Steve said you like destroyed him.
Yeah, like if I go to a party and people are playing it on the couch or something, it's like I really shouldn't even play. Like, 'cause it's
You're like me on
it's
NHL,
just
like-
not even close. Like, no one
When-
has fun.
When I play NHL, I used to sit there and my brother would have his friends over and I would just sit there and be like, well, I'm not going to, you can play whatever game you can try and play whatever you want, but until you beat me, I'm playing this game.
Oh yeah.
Riley's downplaying his
He
skills.
told
He's
me
that
about
good.
the legend of like, you're like a Jedi from what I understand.
I would say I'm like,
Jake is coming with his Mewtwo.
Jake
All right,
I feel like Jake would be pretty good.
We're gonna have to throw down. We're gonna have to get an online lobby.
We got to.
Throw down. Rice, my boy, what's been keeping you busy?
Yeah, I finally finished the Stellar Blade, and you asked last week about what my thoughts would be, and while I thought the combat was just like super fun, the story kind of lost its way for me, and I mean there was just so many parts where I found things to be very predictable, a little on the nose, really, but that didn't really take away from my fun. That I just kind of analyzed that after. And of course, Destiny 2 went to log on this morning and realized that they are doing maintenance on the servers. So I was sad. But yeah, looking forward to tomorrow and all the stuff that's going to come of that.
The final shape arrives.
The final shape.
Where are you at on the hype level right now?
On the hype level?
Yeah, dude. How you feeling? Oh
man, if this is like I'm jumping off a bridge because I'm so excited, I'm like just in front of the railing and I'm looking at all the other people.
Just teetering on the edge.
Yeah, now. I'm just I'm chilling. And then like I'll be like, maybe it's good. And then I'll play it and I'll be like, we'll see.
So hold on, because I'm a little bit confused by this here. If it's good, do you jump, or if it's not good, do you jump? Which one is it?
Okay, so the hype level of someone jumping is like they're fully in. They're gonna dive in. This is like everything in them. I'm like, no, like I'm almost gonna pee, but not quite.
Right.
You know what I mean? Not quite.
The loins are still dry at this point.
Yeah, exactly. Like I'm not in danger of peeing my pants. Like I don't have any towels set up or anything. So there's
no protection here.
Okay,
exactly.
Court's pool is open. He's got towels.
That's what I'm. Do you have that stuff in your pool that makes it blue?
Yeah, that's a good question.
No, that is not a real thing, people.
Excellent.
Right?
I saw it in Grown Ups. It must be real.
Yeah. Court, my dude, what about you?
I've been playing RoboCop, and
Ooh.
It's on sale right now on the PSN. It's a game that I've wanted to play because of a nostalgia for myself. It is definitely a movie I watched way too young. The opening scene where Murphy gets it. A 7-year-old should never watch that, but I definitely did. But that's that was the 80s, man. That's just what happened. But if I take my nostalgia glasses off, the game's not that good.
Okay.
It's pretty buggy. It's annoyingly buggy at some points, which is a shame. Because put my nostalgia glasses back on, even the opening scene where they show Murphy getting out of the car at the OCP cruiser and just the foot coming down is like literally shot for shot from the movie. And it's phenomenal. There's a lot of awesome Easter eggs towards the movie. The gunplay in it is very responsive and awesome, especially in the DualSense. You actually, if you know anything about RoboCop and the gun, how it works, you can actually, it like does this, and you can like see it in the show. You can feel that as you're playing the game, which is very cool. They do have like a target range, so you can go down and use other weapons. But also, unfortunately, the gun that you have, which should be destroy everybody, and that's the whole point of Murphy's gun. It's actually you're better off taking enemies' guns and using them, and they become more destructive, which is also weird. It's okay. I'm gonna finish it. If you like RoboCop, you'll like it. But if you want to play a first-person shooter, don't buy this.
Has this you've been in a bit of a gaming funk the last couple months? Has this kind of helped you ease out of that? Like, even though it's not a great game, you're obviously enjoying it enough. Is this helping you find your way out of the abyss?
A little bit. I even, because of the NHL playoffs, I just picked up, started playing NHL again and seeing if I like the grind. I've been playing it for a couple days, but no, I'm still in a funk. Like it's a weird one. Ghost of Tsushima on PC, I'm going back and forth on it, but I don't know. I'm still in a weird gaming funk. Maybe when the playoffs are over from hockey, like last night I watched a phenomenal hockey game, and now we got Connor McDavid in Stanley Cup Finals, which is, as a Canadian, this is amazing, cool, especially because he's from down the street from where I live, and they've already sent out, like, just today, like City of Newmarket's been like, we're gonna have the games so you can watch them outside on TV, and they've, a friend of mine works for the municipality, and they're already like, yeah, like we've already talked to McDavid's family, like if he wins, it's coming here. And I'm like, oh man, well, my hype level is a little bit. I'm definitely cheering for the Edmonton Oilers. I've been watching a lot of hockey and doing a lot with my daughter and doing a lot around the house. So maybe that's part of my funk.
Sure.
I don't know. I have no clue right now.
Sports.
Nothing is clicking.
Yeah,
sports. Yes. Sports
rules
clicking right now.
There you go. Well, I hope sports continue to click hard. As for myself, I've been playing, I have a review up on Console Creatures, but I've been playing Capes. It is basically XCOM, but with superheroes. It's real good. It's also really hard, and the dialogue writing feels like it's written by me 20 years ago. So take that as a grain of salt as you're going into it. But for anybody who loves like tactical strategy RPGs, that you really need to fine tune your knowledge of the characters, the knowledge of the environment, because if you don't know exactly what you're doing and how you're doing it, you're going to get your ass beat over and over again. Like I've had to reload levels multiple times, almost at the end of the level, because I just couldn't get to the final spot because I was just getting trounced. It's hard. And even on the easier difficulties, it's hard. So it's one of those things that, like, it's almost like XCOM and Into the Breach kind of melded together with superheroes thrown on top. If you're a strategy RPG fan, there's a lot to dig into here. But so that would be my one caveat here, is that it will really press you. And it was at the point where it's like, I was loving it, and then I hit a wall, put it down, come back at it the next day, get over that wall, and then kind of facilitating that over and over again over the course of a few weeks, where I was just like, yes, this is awesome. Oh, God damn it, this level's so hard. I have to put this down. Try again tomorrow, get able to clear it, and then continue on. But it's good. Check it out if you're interested. And then I've been playing a whole bunch of stuff on Steam Deck, but I'll talk more about that in the future. But Ghost of Tsushima has still been like my daily driver on Steam Deck. I keep hopping back in for here and there, just clearing up a bit of the map and then continuing on with the story.
It's such a good game.
It's so good, dude. It's so
good.
Easy to hop in and out. And like on Steam Deck, it is a wonder that it works this well. I'm genuinely shocked that it runs as well as it does mobile. So
it makes me want to get one, or somebody who has an extra rogue ally.
Yeah, just
in the
just
chat.
lying around.
It makes me wish the Vita was still a thing.
Dude. That's a way better point. The Vita, it's just the back buttons. Like I feel like they screwed themselves. Like, don't have those back buttons and give us triggers, and that thing is perfect.
But the nice thing is about the Steam Deck is it has back buttons, and you can remap stuff. So taking some stuff off the face buttons and putting it on the back, it feels real nice, I have to say.
But it also has triggers, so
I know, but I mean that it's all there. But yeah, Vita forever. I hope the rumors of them working on a new actual
seriously
are true, because I would buy that day zero. I would be messaging Riley being like, "Hello, Mr. Walmart, please give me one."
When is it going up?
Tell me everything, because
all
I need
the
to know.
details.
Stop telling Albazans and just tell us.
Exactly. Forget Babs and just hit us up. All right, folks. We have Video Game Christmas is officially started. The State of Play happened a few days ago. Court and I did a live stream on the channel, and we also did a quick reactions after. But we're going to recount things here a little bit, because I'm also curious about Rice and Riley's thoughts. I'm going to pull from us ourselves over at Console Creatures, because Dennis did a wonderful write-up of everything announced. I'm going to fly through it real quick, and then we'll circle back and get thoughts and feelings. But we basically got an announcement of Concord. We got a deeper look at it. I don't know why it's not loading, but okay. We got a deeper look at it. There's a beta happening in July with the actual full release coming in August. This is looking very Guardians of the Galaxy meets Overwatch, to kind of simplify it. God of War Ragnarok got a PC release date of September 19th. Dynasty Warriors Origins got an unveiling coming in 2025. Infinity Nikki is getting a beta test sometime in summer, but we didn't get a full release window for that as of yet. Ballad of Antra got a TBA 2025. This is a fantasy action RPG.
Hey, did you not hear that's a free to play?
I know. We'll dig in. Sky Dances Behemoth is coming to PSVR 2 sometime in fall. It reminded me a lot of the MetaQuest 3 stuff. I'm blanking on the name, the launch title. Asgard's Wrath. Gave me a very much Asgard's Wrath meets Shadow of the Colossus kind of vibe from there. Alien Rogue Incursion got a holiday 2024 window, also coming to PSVR 2. Marvel's Rivals got a closed beta release window in July. They also showed off Adam Warlock and Venom coming along with a Scarlet Spider suit exclusive to PS5. Where Winds Meet is coming at some point in the future, but that's pretty much all we got. Until Dawn is coming this fall to PC and PS5. Path of Exile 2 is coming in late 2024 in early access. Silent Hill 2 Remake, which looks like something, is coming in October 8th. Monster Hunter Wild's got a new trailer that looks awesome coming in 2025. And of course, ending with Astro Bot coming September 6th, a full title, no mention of PSVR 2, which I'm assuming that means that this is going to be entirely flat all the time.
There was stuff that came out after. It's not coming to VR.
There you go. Then it's entirely a flat game that looks absolutely wonderful. Court and I, like I said, gave a lot of our thoughts and feelings on our stuff, but I'm going to open this up. Riley, the state of play happened. Where are your thoughts and feelings on this? What are some highlights? Where are your feelings on what we saw from PlayStation?
I'm kind of I thought it was an okay show. I think people were like really negative about it, but I thought it was like a really good like kickoff to what I'm assuming will be a big holiday for them. So I enjoyed it, but I think Astrobot was the clear standout for me. Like I loved the Astro's Playroom on PS5. Like shipping that console, that game was so perfect because it's like the one game that I feel like really pays homage to like the entire platform. Like everything's in it. There's references to everything. You're literally going into like PlayStation 1 console, PS2 console. And then we see that we haven't lost any of that magic in the transition to what's going to be a full retail game. So I'm pretty excited about that, to be honest. Concord, I think it looks neat. I feel like there are just so many hero shooters now. Like even in that presentation, like they put it up against like Marvel Rivals, which is another hero shooter. And it's like, well, I probably want to play like Marvel Rivals. That to me seems like I like the IP. I like you showed off Venom. You're giving away an exclusive suit. Like, I don't know, like some of these things I find like kind of contradict like what they want. So overall, I don't know. I feel like I need to see more of it, but Astrobot to me was like head and shoulders exactly what I wanted. And it releases on my wedding day. So
look at
PlayStation roll up.
One of those things has to move dates now.
Yeah,
one of those things has to move.
Well, yeah, I'm trying to negotiate with my fiance to maybe move the wedding a couple weeks just so I can play this thing. Yeah, I just gotta get the platinum. You know,
I mean, it's pretty much like a wedding.
Oh no, so Riley, what you could do is on your wedding day, because if you get the game early, you can be like, everybody be like, so what do you want to say? And you'd be like, I got the platinum in Astrobot last night. It's the greatest thing ever.
Yeah, hold up my phone.
Rice, dude, what about you? Where are you at on all things state of play?
Yeah, I would align with what Riley's saying here. It was good, not great. And like there are things that I'm looking forward to. Just to echo the Astrobot stuff, like
he gone.
The stuff that
we
here?
Yeah, we hear.
You're good.
Okay. The stuff that Astrobot has done with the DualSense and just like the experience of people who love playing with a controller is so great. And so I'm looking forward to that and just everything that Astrobot has to offer. I mean, like a lot of the stuff that did come out was stuff that we were expecting. And even stuff that we were like, who asked for this? Like the Dynasty Warriors one, I was like, really? They're still on that franchise, but I guess there's a huge chunk of people that really, really love that genre of game. You know, the Until Dawn stuff, which I mentioned, like I had played through on stream. I'll probably play that again on stream because it was just a fun experience to have with viewers and such. But yeah, it wasn't like ground shaking stuff, and to echo, Astrobot is just like super dope, and we're looking forward to that.
Yeah, I think that there was a lot there that looks interesting, but I think there's a lot there that we need just more of before we can really form full opinions on. Echo both sentiments. Astrobot was easily what stole the show. Also, like finding out what more information on the PlayStation blog after how all of like the PlayStation stuff like the PlayStation characters are going to have a larger role this time when compared to, Playroom, that they're actually going to be potentially part of the story in some way, shape, and form.
Well,
that to me,
yeah.
That's
they confirmed that there's like 150 crossovers in this one,
and there's
is
80 levels, man.
Yeah.
80 levels.
Size, yeah.
Which to me is like, are we going to get abilities? Are they going to join us for missions? Are we going to get to play as some of them? Like, there's so much there that they could do.
I almost think they gave away the abilities part, though, because remember, that was one of our takeaways, Matt. We were like, before they released that press release after and said, here's some more, IGN or whoever someone got to put out more information about the game right after. They kind of like showed us, like, as you meet a character, that gives you new ability, right? They did it in the trailer. So, and they focused at the very end. So I haven't actually seen someone clip the screenshot, but there's a screenshot at the end. They have almost like every PlayStation character that's like looks like an Astrobot. I'm just like, damn.
Yeah.
Well, at one point, the Kratos Astrobot throws the other, like the main Astrobot, his axe, right? So I'm assuming you're going to use their abilities, which is cool.
Can we be cool? Like, do I get Infamous, but like through Astrobot?
Maybe if they're like 150 plus crossovers, like I wonder how deep they're going to go, because Astro's Playroom went super deep already. Yeah, and that was like it's like triple that amount.
I'm gonna pull in a question from the audience here, because we have one from Sumit Roy, Mr. Blackwyver, asking a couple questions about Astrobot, saying a couple questions for you all. Do you think Astrobot will be full priced, and will you be buying it on day one? So for me, it's easy a day one, and I actually do think this will be full priced. I do think they're going to slap a full $89.99 price tag on this. I could see a world where it's discounted, maybe to like $50-$60. But I think
at least if it was discounted at all, it would be 60. But I don't see how you're not. Like we said, 80 levels, 150 crossovers. This sounds like it's going to be a huge platformer, huge game.
Yeah.
Agreed. Riley, Rice, where are you guys at? Do you think this is going to be full priced?
You can go first, Rice, if you want.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's justified. And just because the first Astrobot, like, I don't know, were people expecting it to do as well as it did, and maybe capitalize on that. I think it will be, and it will be a day one for me.
Yeah, I agree. It's going to be a day one for me as well. Well, I guess I'm married that day, so hopefully I can get it earlier, but
you have a PlayStation.
It'll be a day.
Make it work.
As soon as I'm able, I will play it. Yeah.
Play it under the table, like sitting at the table. Like, what are you doing? Nothing.
It's like, babe, back off.
Yeah. Riley, do you say I do? Hold on, I just got to get this one thing.
Yeah.
Just one quick second.
Get it. Yeah. It's my
you're
day
like,
too.
You're like, stop the whole wedding. You're like, has anybody finished this level? I'm stuck at this level right now. Is anybody in the audience?
Is anyone playing? Everyone's just trying to eat their dinner.
Infamous.
Okay.
Infamous.
So I'm definitely, like, as soon as I can, I'm going to play it. I mean, if it is full priced, I think that's totally reasonable. I think because the last one was included on the hardware, people are like, oh, well, this should be free then. It's like, no, like,
absolutely not.
This is no, like, you got that game for free, and I think that's really awesome that they did that, but they weren't obligated to do that at all.
Yeah.
Like, so this thing is like a fully blown up sequel. Like, yeah, I think it could be a full retail game.
Yeah, go big with it. I mean, I think it deserves it too. Like the amount of work that is clearly being put into this. Nagachaka also writes in asking, I have to ask, which PlayStation Easter egg are you hoping for in the upcoming Astrobot game? How far do you think they're going to go into PlayStation history when it comes to Easter eggs and references? And I think that this is an interesting question, because, like, do we see PlayStation legacy characters that are no longer PlayStation? Do we see Crash? Do we see Spyro? Because those were on the PS1 PlayStation characters. Like,
I think that would all matter on when they started development on the game and when any deals were signed. Like, if the Activision deal, say with Microsoft, was like going through, but they would have still been able to make a deal with PlayStation at the time. I think it has a lot to do with that,
right?
Because this is going to sound, I think we would have seen, like, in that little thing, I looked like at a still, like, there's no Crash. And I think that would have been like, they showed Parappa the Rapper, which was awesome, but I don't think we will see Crash or Spyro, which sucks.
Yeah.
I don't think we will see them. I wish we would, but, like, look at how long ago Microsoft went into those talks, the development cycle. Like, do you think they got the deal, or Microsoft canceled that deal? Like, there's a tough one there.
I feel like we might see Crash and Spyro. Microsoft's pretty. I mean,
PlayStation games, right? Like,
yeah,
you think about
they
the
were
original
right.
DualSense controller was because of Spyro. It was one of the games that you got way back in the day.
Ape Escape too, right? Was
yeah,
like
Ape Escape,
Escape
yeah.
and Spyro. So like
Right.
you would get a DualSense with Spyro if you bought it way back in the day on the PlayStation 1. And I still remember because that's where I got one. And then FIFA was one of the first sports games to use the analogs. And then International Super Soccer, one of the best soccer games ever.
But yeah, I'm like, just from a timeline perspective, I would assume they started development on this game right after they wrapped up development on
I hope
Playroom.
so.
Same.
So
When
I would
PlayStation
think
buy
that the
Team
rights would probably carry like that. Those conversations probably would have started very early. It'd just be like, hey, we good for the sequel? And it's like, yes or no. And
And existing
I think
deals will probably
probably.
be honored. Like
yeah, oh, totally. Yeah, they definitely would be.
I think like what my biggest question is like, are we going to see third-party stuff? Like again,
Right.
Persona is well
Or
known
Final
for
Fantasy.
PlayStation, Final Fantasy. Like
Final
these are
Fantasy.
these are titles that are tied to PlayStation, regardless of them being first-party franchises or not.
Yeah.
Do we see stuff there? Do we see stuff from the Vita? Do we see stuff from the PSP? Like Rice, how deep are we going into the PlayStation catalog here? Because 150 is a lot.
Bro, I mean, like, as someone who played Tekken on the PS1, like that would be like really dope to see some of those characters, but I don't think that would ever happen.
I
yeah,
think if
man.
they've got the license, they're going to do it.
I think they're
Yeah.
gonna go all
Nostalgia
in.
sells. Nostalgia
I think they'll
sells.
go all in on this. I think that we'll see pretty much everything.
You think so, eh?
Yeah, like I
well,
think
even
we're
if
getting
you-
an
if
Infamous
you look at
level.
the
We're
little-
getting one.
Like even if you look at the little snippet of all the spaceships, there's like a PS
Sure.
Vita. There's like
Yep.
the PlayStation
yeah,
1
yeah,
Boomerang that was
Yep.
like the
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
stuff, like all that. So I think they're going all in on this. Like 150 cameos. The last one had like 60. Yeah, the Buster Sword was in Astro's Playroom
That's right.
for Final Fantasy. So
Mhm.
I
So
think they're gonna
technically,
go
as long as they can do whatever they want, right? Like, because like Resident Evil was in the last
yeah,
Astro.
Resident Evil,
So,
Devil May Cry.
As long
yeah.
as they're not using the actual
Tomb Raider.
assets, they can kind of do what they want here.
Time Crisis.
Well,
Like-
no, they don't have like they don't have
Carte
carte
blanche,
blanche.
yeah.
Yeah,
But
But like I'm
really
saying,
want
you
that.
could
They'll
make
get
it
clarity.
almost
They'll get
banjo, but
clarity.
not banjo, and just be like, it was just like we were joking around when Matt and I were watching it. We're like,
Right.
how much do these enemies that they're fighting look like Nintendo characters from way back in the day? Like they kind of did. I was just like, I was making that joke. I'm like, are we fighting Bowser here? It's like, is that who they're fighting right now?
So give me
Yeah.
this then. I want from everybody. Give me a couple wish list cameos. Like who do you want to see in this? Because for me, it's like I'd love to see anything Persona. I'd love to see Spider-Man, obviously coming from Insomniac.
Oh, I think
Like,
Spider-Man's
yeah,
gonna
like
be there.
Spider-Man would be
dude.
good.
like those two for me,
Spider-Man.
I'd be so stoked to see, along with anything like Yakuza. Like, can you imagine a little Astrobot with Ichiban? Like, how cute would that be? Like, I'm in entirely, but like, how again, a storied PlayStation franchise. What are some wish list cameos that you want to see in this?
For me, it's Infamous, but I think we're definitely gonna get it. But I associate BioShock with PlayStation because it came out on the PlayStation on the PS3 before it came on Xbox. So I associate it there. So if they gave some sort of BioShock, if we could be a little sister as Astrobot, I think that would be very cool. But that or
You
Assassin's
got to
Creed.
be a big daddy, right? He was in
Yeah.
All
Well,
Stars.
I would like the little sister with a little gun thingy, but yeah, I know Big Daddy's
the needle drainer. Yeah,
But I think Riley's right. Now that you say it, Riley, I think they're gonna go as far as they can. They'll reach out to anybody and be like, "Who wants to be a part of it?" Not like, "Hey, can we have this?"
Right.
I think
Yeah.
they reached out and were like, "Who wants to be a part of it?" Like, I think Rice would get his Destiny. I don't see how Destiny's not in this game.
I know Destiny would be so good for me.
I'm sure they'll have Destiny. That makes sense to me. They own
Yeah.
Bungie now, so
Yeah.
that makes
Yeah.
total sense.
But I think if they're doing 150, that's more than just PlayStation.
Yeah.
That's
It
one
has
of the
to
first
be.
party.
That's a
Yeah.
lot.
Like, who wouldn't want the free advertising? Like, that's the way it is, right? That's the way you got to look at it.
True.
Like, if you're Ubisoft, do you say no if they're like, "Hey, we want to use Ezio"?
yeah, or we want
Mm.
Rayman or something like
Yeah.
that.
Mm.
Makes sense.
So Rice, give me some wish lists.
Oh man, Heihachi Mishima from Tekken.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be
Just like his face has been part of the franchise for like ever, even though he's dead now. But
well,
but you know.
yeah, they
well,
all
well,
die,
dead.
right?
Yeah, exactly. No one ever really dies in a fighting
Yeah,
game.
they always come back.
Yeah.
Give me that. Just give me that, man, and I'll be good.
Riley, what about you, dude?
I want deep cuts. I want like Tomba or something like
Yes,
that.
oh my
Like, I
goodness.
think that would be so cool to see something like that. Like the deeper you go, the more I'll appreciate it for sure. So like if you get those wacky
like a motocross
like,
level
PS1
for out of nowhere, just like your or
yeah,
any
right, or
2K
anything
sports.
like that. Like I
Brett
hope they
Favre
really
comes on the screen, starts throwing a football.
yeah. My biggest hope is they really start like, and it seems like they're doing it with like the Astro Boy getting Kratos' axe and stuff like that. Like it seems like they're going to start blending the gameplay with these characters, which I think could be really cool if they do that right. Like I'd love to see him bump into Sackboy or something like that.
Sackboy.
Like there's a lot of like similarities between the characters. So I'm pretty much anything like that. Crash and Spyro, obviously, I hope are there. So those are probably the ones that I want to see.
Yeah, I didn't think you liked Crash.
No, no.
I want to touch on Concord because I think that's the one that we've seen kind of the most discourse on online with people's reactions to it. And I kind of feel like there's two camps. There's the camp of let's see what this is, let's see more of this, and then there's the camp that's like, you know, we're kind of over it. There's a lot of these types of games, and I think both of those reactions have points to them. I for one, I want to get my hands on it before I start really thinking any more deeply about it, because from what we saw in the trailer, there isn't a lot there to really differentiate it from a lot of the competition in the space. Like Riley was saying, we have it in July, we're getting betas for Concord and we're getting betas for Marvel Rivals. Marvel Rivals, obviously the IP, very much Overwatch gameplay. Like I'm excited about those. Concord, I'm on a wait and see. Let's see how this plays before I kind of, you know, go one way or the other. But what does Concord need to do to really kind of stick the landing? And Rice, I'm going to go to you first as our resident FPS boy, because like what does Concord need to do to kind of really blow up here, or do you think it's already dead in the water?
I it's a tough one because I like shooters. I try them all, and you know, I can say that something is super fun, but is it going to keep me there? And even with my beloved Destiny 2, like it's hard to just stay on that for a long time. So I think that it needs to be, they need to offer something vastly different in terms of mechanics and gameplay, because you can hop into X Defiant, you can hop into Call of Duty, you can hop into Overwatch, and you'll kind of get that satisfaction. But one thing that I really did take away from the presentation was that I was invested in the characters that were being presented there. And so that's something that I think like Overwatch does really well, where, you know, you get kind of these backstories and in these characters and these little shorts that they show that actually are literally just things to watch and not play. So I am drawn to that. I am drawn to the characters, and so that is a draw for me, and I think that might be enough to pull some people in. But the gameplay, I think, has to be phenomenal. Like it has to be an outstanding experience for people to be like, all right, I'm gonna stay on this, and I'm gonna spend time on this and money on this as well, right? So that's where I'm at. I'm kind of like okay, let's see what this is about, but I'm not like holding my breath or anything.
I think the big question here too is that we still don't know, at least as far as I'm aware, on whether this is a premium title, whether it's free to play. They mentioned pre-orders, which makes it sound like it's going to be a priced title, but we don't know if that could mean, again, if you pre-order for $20, you get XYZ and 3-day early access or whatever to a free to play game. We don't know that. Riley, what do you think this is free to play? Do you think this is fully priced? Do you think there's a better way to go between the two? Where are you at on Concord?
I mean, that's so tough because I feel like Overwatch went free to play and it just kind of bungled the entire thing. So I hope it's pay to play, and you know, it's dual PS5 PC day and date, which I think is really good. So I don't know. I just hope that like we get all of the content up front. I mean, we talked about multiverses earlier. Like one of the biggest issues is like you don't have all the like characters accessible.
Yeah.
So it's like I feel like you kind of need that right off the hop, or else it's like I don't know any of these characters. You know, at least Multiverses has the appeal of like, oh, I've seen that movie or that TV show, so I want to try that character. Like this is like I don't know these people at all, so I don't know what I want to play, or so I feel like you have to have a level of like buy-in. You have access to everything, and then hopefully you enjoy it. So like I would like to see maybe a Helldivers 2 price point.
Okay.
Yeah,
like a more discounted price point.
Yeah.
I'm with you. I think that could work. I'm curious to see how it lands. Court, you've been adventuring into live service over the course of the last little while. What does Concord need to do to grab you?
I think it needs to let us all play it for a while before they even launch it. For me, Helldivers 2 was not on my radar. It's still my game of the year right now. Like, I truly love that game. It was phenomenal.
I agree.
And I'm definitely not. I kept saying I'm not into live service, and then the millions of people, and I think Riley one time pointed out to me about a year ago, was like, "You play NHL, it's a live service game." Like, and it just wasn't in my brain that that's a live service game. But this year, I've tried them. Like, if they're there, I'm going to try it. But I think with this, because of Overwatch and because of Marvel, they've got to let us play it. They've got to be like, here, it's free for 2 weeks, way before the launch. Like, here, it's free for 2 weeks. And if you play it, here's some characters or something you get to unlock. Give them a reason to go back to play it when it comes out. And you need those PC players, because we saw it with Helldivers 2. If the PC players aren't playing it, this game's dead in the water.
Yeah. I think I'm curious to see what more information we're going to get, because I'm sure we're going to see something more about it in Summer Game Fest. I'm sure this isn't the end of it. Before we move off State of Play and Summer Game Fest to get into some news, I want to know from each one of you, what are you expecting to see from PlayStation in Summer Game Fest? The opening night live is coming up in just a few days. There's obviously, there are rumblings, there are rumors that there is more that Sony has in the hopper when it comes to Summer Game Fest. What are you expecting, or what are you hoping to see? Because there was no way that there's nothing in that opening presentation. What are we feeling here?
Can Riley even is he allowed to say? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay.
But so I can say, but I hope we get like Spider-Man DLC or something like that. Like, I don't think it'll actually happen, because they've been I think their roadmap was delayed a bit, like getting the new Game Plus out and stuff like that.
Yeah, Caboose said something about, like, if it wasn't at the State of Play, he doesn't see it happening at.
Yeah, he's probably right. So I think that I would like to see something like that, but maybe even like, this is your opportunity to, go beyond what like a PlayStation broadcast would bring in from an audience perspective. So drop a Wolverine trailer, or, something crazy would be really cool. So I hope we see something like that, or maybe we see something else entirely that they shadow drop or something like that would be pretty cool.
A shadow drop would be pretty cool. Court, what about you? What are you thinking?
I'm gonna go with, so Naughty Dog has a habit of being on that stage. They just do. They do have a habit, but I think I'm gonna go with a Naughty Dog franchise that's gonna be on that stage. And I'm gonna keep saying it until it happens, but I think we're finally gonna see I think we're gonna get a game that's coming in the future. Sony hasn't showed us anything for almost 2 years of like, hey, guess what's coming? They just keep going like, here's what they're pulling Nintendo, and like, here's what's coming in the next 6 months, which I don't mind, but they haven't given us the hype moment. I think we could see that new Uncharted game. We know it's real. We know it exists. It was in their darn commercial. They just keep not showing us the game, which is weird to me. Like, we already know about Wolverine. So I would think that's for the rumored showcase that we're going to get later on in the year, because they need to drop the PS5 Pro and start pre-orders for that. And they haven't done that, but you're going to launch that in the fall. So why show us now, right? And that could also be a blog post in the end of it, right? I think they're going to show us something for that stage, because Summer's Game Fest has officially become E3.
Yeah.
There's nothing else there. Like, if we had an E3 right now, we would have got trailers from Sony. We would have got them. So maybe we get one trailer. Like, we know we're not getting Ghost of Tsushima 2. Like, there's ones that we know we're not going to see. But why haven't we seen this new Uncharted, and who's making it?
Okay. Rice, what are you thinking?
I was thinking Wolverine was my go-to. I am just personally a huge fan of Wolverine. So like, I've been heavily anticipating this for quite some time. And just Insomniac being as great as they are, and the games that we've been playing in the Spider-Man franchise, like, I have really high hopes, and it's all about that nostalgia for me as well. So but since that answer was taken, what about Resident Evil?
I feel like that's coming. Like, there's been too much scuttlebutt around the internet for that not to be there in some way, shape, or form.
Just don't make it look like Silent Hill.
I think for me, Wolverine makes a lot of sense, coming off of how successful X-Men 97 was, Deadpool and Wolverine is right around the corner.
Yep.
It's the time to start talking about it. Whether
and
it's
have Ryan
2020
Reynolds and Hugh Jackman come on stage.
Yeah, I mean, Jeff Keighley would love that. 2025 or 2026 for that game seems appropriate, and it seems appropriate to start talking about it. I wouldn't be surprised if we get something Horizon, whether that's the MMO, whether that's the rumored Lego game. I think there's going to be something Horizon possibly there. Lego has a lot of carry, so I feel like if that game is ready and they're ready to start talking about it now, that seems like a good place to put it. But yeah.
The only thing I say about the Wolverine is because Insomniac literally said after people talked about the leaks and they had that interview, they're like, "Don't worry, we're not going to show you anything now. People can leak whatever they want to leak. Maybe later in the year we'll have something for you." And that was only like a month ago. Like it's not later in the year.
It is later in the year, but it's not.
It is. Yeah, I guess tomorrow is later in the year.
Exactly. What is time?
Time.
Just a flat circle like you.
There you go.
Let's hop into some news. PlayStation dropped some interesting information on their blog just earlier today, announcing that PSVR 2 players can get access to PC with an adapter starting on August 7th. Very cheeky using Half-Life Alyx here. Very cheeky doing so. But they basically gone on to say that they've released the minimum PC requirements as well. There's a PSVR adapter starting at $60 USD. Will be available on. You'll be able to play Steam's expansive library of thousands of VR games, including Half-Life Alyx, Fallout 4 VR, War Thunder, and many others. But we got a look at.
Riley, when can we pre-order this thing?
I don't know.
Oh, let us know. Just put it
out. It comes out August 7th, is it?
August 7th is coming out. So
I just want the darn thing. All I have is a Walmart, Riley. Give it good.
all I have is a Walmart.
Once I can communicate anything, we'll communicate it.
All right, good stuff.
Yeah, it's coming. People will finally be able to use their PSVR 2s on PC, which is, I know, something that a lot of folks have been asking, because I still think it's the best headset right now in terms of the ergonomics and how it feels. It is easily the best one to actually physically use. $60 for that adapter seems kind of steep, in my opinion, which means it's probably going to be almost $100.
Not just that, you have to get like another adapter. You have to get that adapter, and it sounds like you might need a second adapter.
You need you need the proper cables for it. Yeah, but that's not like PlayStation branded. That's just kind of, you can get whatever.
Amazon, that bad boy.
But this sounds like it's going to be more than $100 Canadian dollars to be able to use it.
Only buy from Walmart, people.
Only Walmart. But yeah, where are we at on this, folks? Does it excite you?
Yeah, day one, dude. I talked to you. I get to play Batman now. I was so pissed off when I saw that trailer and I couldn't play Batman. I was like, you got to be kidding me! It's only on MetaQuest. Well, now I'll be able to play that. I'll be able to play Assassin's Creed, and Half-Life Alyx looks unbelievable, and all I want to do is play that game. But that's only 3 games, and I'm still disappointed in that thing that's behind me that I spent a lot of money on.
Yeah, Rice, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm still not kind of tapped into the VR experience. Mainly because like I like longer gaming sessions, and I know that playing experiences in VR, perhaps I wouldn't be able to last as long just because of motion sickness. So this is something that I'm happy for people to be excited about, but personally just haven't really tapped into that.
Riley, where are you at?
I think I have a PSVR 2. So I think it's a really cool device, but I like that this adds more value to it. Mm-hmm. And more than that, I hope that we see more growth on the platform that it was originally created for as well. Like, you can't access the original VR games, PSVR games,
which makes no sense.
So like, if you're just opening up the gates to Steam, it's like, can we get those too? Like, Minecraft, for example, is 50% off right now for the anniversary. It's like, that supports PSVR. Like, get that stuff going and broaden that on your own ecosystem. But I do love that, they're opening this gate and they're allowing, like, their big promo for it is Half-Life Alyx. So I hope that, I'm not a huge PC gamer, but I hope that maybe this opens the door to maybe having that game come to PlayStation, maybe really pushing the hardware that way. But I mean, more choices is always good for
I wonder if we won't get trophy support though, will we?
If it comes to PlayStation?
Well, no, because it's on Steam.
I'm just like, I'm hoping they port it.
Oh yeah, no, I agree with you. Like, there's Batman VR. I've never played that. I've never even played that. Like and people say that's a great experience, or like Iron Man, and I'm like, there's so many games there, and they're also in my library because they were free for so long that I can't even play.
I'm kind of hoping that this has like a reverse psychology effect where if this sells well and boosts sales of PSVR 2 because people are using it on PC, that Sony looks at that and goes, oh, we're pushing more PSVR 2. Let's now develop more stuff for it on PS5 because it's like, this thing is incredible tech. The tech is fantastic. It's so comfortable to use. The controllers are great. There's so much here that is value. And I mean, like, they kind of shot themselves in the foot by putting out a premium piece of tech and then not supporting it at all. I'm hoping that this means that there is more to come because for anybody who can now use it on PC, it's a fantastic headset to have. Steve in the chat, will Horizon Call of the Mountain come to Steam now that PSVR 2 is on
point.
PC? That's a great question. Like Forbidden West,
and sure, because that game's amazing. Like
that
truly is the best VR experience I've ever had.
I mean, I think it should.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder though, like I just don't know, like, because then you have to make that game. Basically, it's more work for Guerrilla, right? Because then they have to make that game compatible with all of the VR.
Yeah, because the studio that made Call of the Mountain, they don't exist anymore, right?
Wasn't that Guerrilla?
No, Guerrilla didn't make Call of the Mountain.
Who made Call of the Mountain?
It was Fire something.
I'm checking. I think you are right. I think it was a different studio.
Yeah, and I thought they just got shut down.
Fire Sprite.
Oh no, they got moved on into another game.
Fire Sprite is making Concord.
Yeah, they're making it.
Hold on.
Look at us. We're really good at this stuff,
huh?
people. Just let everybody know how good we are. There are all so many different studios. I thought this was the one that was shelved.
You might
British developer. Yeah, they were. They're done.
Oh, well.
In September 2021, Sony acquired the company making
Firewalk is making
Firewalk, yeah.
Concord. Okay. Well.
So they're probably not then.
Probably
this would be my guess.
Unless Nixon is doing it, because just give them anything halfway PC related, even though this is VR. But yeah, I'm curious to see how this sells. I think it's a cool initiative. Let's keep this news trade rolling to something that Court alluded to earlier, because coming from VGC, written by Andy Robinson, Rabbids, Assassin's Creed, and more could be coming to X Defiant. Ubisoft free-to-play shooter X Defiant could be set to receive new content based on Assassin's Creed, The Crew, and Rabbids. According to data mined content coming from X user Rogue TX, has been sharing files for the game online. According to the user, 4 factions coming to the shooter could include Assassin's Creed, assassins from Assassin's Creed, operators from Ghost Recon Breakpoint, GSG-9 members from Rainbow Six Siege, and the Highwaymen from Far Cry New Dawn. It could also be indications leading to The Crew and Rabbids, along with some other stuff. But I still haven't hopped into X Defiant, but if I could run around as a giant rabbit, I think that might sell me on it.
Well, that's what I like it for, its stupidity. Like, it's just like, the maps I think are well done out.
They are.
The gunplay feels a lot like old Call of Duty. Whether take that as a good thing or a bad thing, but it really does feel like really old Call of Duty.
Mm-hmm.
But they have something here because it is different than the other shooters. Like, Ubisoft does have, as much as people want to harp on them all the time for some reason, and not everybody, there are a select gamers that want to just anything Ubisoft puts out, they're like, oh, it's terrible. And then you look at the sales, you're like, well, you know what? Over 70% of the gamers think differently than you because everybody's buying the darn thing. I think it's a free to play. And if you put their big franchises like Assassin's Creed in there, you're going to get more of a player base. Like, it's not a bad game. It's kind of fun, but it's just, I feel like it needs more content so far from what I've played of the game.
I haven't played it at all, but I think I'm just generally confused by the free-to-play initiative that Ubisoft is pushing. Like for example, like
right?
like they've tried a few times and it hasn't really worked out ever. And they have like one of the coolest parts about Rainbow Six, which I think is like their best shooter, like tactical shooter, is like Sam Fisher's in it. Like, he's just full on a character in that game. So, like, I don't know why that's not sort of what you're pushing. I guess they're going more mainstream with COD, or the COD approach, to your point. But I don't know. I'm always very skeptical of that sort of approach to just me personally.
Well, it's like they could have went Rainbow Six Vegas, which Rainbow Six Vegas 2 used to have like this community of all of us trying to play it together and be like, all right, we died. We're going up the stairs. We all died. Let's regroup. Let's do this again. And they could have done that type of multiplayer for everybody to play with, and they didn't. Or I'll say this till I'm blue in the face, they had one of the best multiplayers out there in Assassin's Creed, and they did nothing with it. because that multiplayer was
That was
very
a lot
fun.
of fun, actually.
It was a
really
lot of
good
fun.
and really different compared to everything else out
Exactly.
there.
It was so different, and they've done nothing with it. And that franchise, as much as people say there's fatigue, it sells better than anything else every single time it comes out.
Yeah, I'm with you, Riley. I'm curious to see how this works out for them, especially because, you know, speaking of Siege, they pissed off a lot of people by now adding in a subscription to that as well.
Yes.
And it's just kind of like I curious to see if this is going to make them the money that they're obviously looking for from X Defiant. But I hope they get more zany and more weird with it, because like I said, there's a lot of shooters out there right now. There's a lot of free-to-play shooters. There are more coming. And I need to get a feel for the game to see how it plays. But if I can run around as a giant buck-toothed white rabbit just causing absolute mayhem on that map,
at people.
I'm in. That is more for me.
How many games does that get you in for, though? like it's got to lose its novelty, right?
Yeah.
And then you're like, well, they jumped the shark, so.
As many teeth as that rabbit has is how many games I'll play. Okay, maybe. So like, I don't know. I'm curious to see how that's going to land. But let's hit one last story that I had to toss in because Riley's here. From the PlayStation blog, we got a write up about Tomba. Creator Takuro Fujiwara discusses the colorful side scrollers PlayStation heritage. This is a great article talking about, you know, the making of it back in the day. There's obviously a new special edition coming to PS5 on August 1st. So there's a lot to be excited for. People online were very, very hyped that Tomba is back. And pretty cool. I remember playing this back in the day, and I got stuck, I think, in the first 10 minutes. I could never figure out how to move past it, and then never played it again. So maybe this would be a good opportunity for me to come back here. But Riley, why should people be stoked about Tomba?
Tomba was such a revolutionary platformer when it came out. Like, I feel like the games that were almost 2D or quasi 2D side scrollers during the 3D era, where everything was like, oh, it's not Mario 64, so it sucks. You know, like Mischief Makers and Tomba and all these other really good platformers, they got totally overlooked. They got buried, and now they're just like cult classics. So, like, if you go back and play Tomba, and I did a few years ago, it's still so much fun. Like, the gameplay is not like anything else. It's not that hard. I don't know how you get stuck on the first.
I was like 6. There was something
that'll do it. All right. Yeah,
there was something that I was just like, I remember like this
like
one frame, and I could not figure out how to get past it. I was like, all right, I'm done.
All right, fair enough. Did you like shift your perspective because it is like quasi?
It's very very interesting. The games
like
this are almost still timeless. There's so many games they'll bring back out that you play them and you're like, whoa, this didn't age well. But like, just looking at what Matt was showing, I'm like, you can play this, like Spyro and Crash. Whenever they bring out the remasters, like, well, it still plays great. Like Banjo-Kazooie, if they just we'd all play it
right. If they
we'd all play it, yeah.
I mean, I don't know. Like, there's a lot, right? And I feel like there's so many IPs that get overlooked because there's so many other priorities now. That's like, it happens. But I'm glad that Tomba's coming back. Like, Limited Run is doing that on their engine. They're helping the original creator bring it to new consoles, so that's exciting. And it'll be on. I know PlayStation, it's coming to PS5 first, but then it'll come to other platforms like Nintendo Switch. So for the first time ever, it'll be there as well.
That's pretty much like a perfect Switch game.
It really is. Yeah, it is pretty smart. So I'm pretty excited to play that again. And if it'll be on PS5, it'll have trophies. So
what about that comes out on your wedding day?
I think
is Tomba a platformer that people can actually enjoy, kind of a tougher challenge, or is it, where does the difficulty kind of
Mario Wonder or below
parts? Oh, it's definitely not as hard as Mario Wonder. Like, the later levels of Mario Wonder get crazy. So it's not like that. It is, but is like the gameplay is cool. Like, part of his whole thing is he like leaps and jumps onto like pigs and then like slams that. Like, it's just like you can like chain through it, which is pretty cool. There's like a nice flow of momentum to it.
Right.
So you get, and then you shift perspectives and do all that stuff, and it's kind of a crazy character too. So I really do like that game, and I'm glad they're able to bring that back. And then that team is going on to also bring back Gex at some point.
No way.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, they're doing the Gex trilogy. So they announced that.
We get Adventure Island now too. Just bring me back my childhood. You guys
I want, dude. You were talking about Asteroid Boy crossovers. Get Croc in there. Like, dude, yeah, be so.
Or even Bonks from TurboGrafx 16.
Jeez. Yeah, right. Yeah, Bonk. Yeah, like, so good. Like, there's so many of those like old platformers I'd love to see come back.
There was tons back in once Mario hit. It was like every company's like, I'm going to make a platform. And then like Adventure Island was one of the ones that was like the one that like
dude.
all of us, you couldn't get Adventure Island from Jumbo Video. Like it was never in because it would always be out because everybody thought it was great because skateboarding, but like it was a fun platform. It was like Ghosts and Goblins, but with a skateboard. That's pretty much what it was. It was fantastic.
I love it.
There you go. Get hyped on Tomba coming August.
Let's go.
1st. A perfect game to take you to Astrobot.
Do well, right? If these do well, then we start seeing the Crocs come back, and we start seeing like. So I'm all for it. Like Gex should be later this year, I think. So there's a lot of cool stuff like on the horizon from that team in particular.
Well, we'll keep it locked. We'll keep you updated as we find out more. Let's hop into some questions, folks, to round out the show because Edward Varnell at that retro code writes in saying, with Infinity Nikki being shown in the last week's State of Play, I noticed the Super Mario Galaxy-esque music for the trailer, and it was amazing. How do you feel about trailer music in Sony trailers, and do you think it'll be something you'll love when that game releases? This is an interesting question.
Very interesting.
Yeah, I feel like for me, like I don't notice music in trailers unless it's bad. Like if a trailer has good music, like Infinity Nikki did, like it stands out. But sometimes you'll get these get companies using like a really random like rap song that just doesn't fit the game at all. That like it stands out, and you're kind of like, this doesn't fit. But like I don't know, I'm not usually one that really zones in on video game OSTs. It's just regardless, like it's just not something I really particularly pay attention to up front.
Yeah.
How are you guys feeling about it?
I think that I think that there are, certain franchises that do music well that you'll hear something and it brings back nostalgia because it's familiar. In where I don't know that we've seen very many like PlayStation titles that have enough kind of grab in terms of the music for people to be like, oh man, I know that tune, or like that is what brings back the nostalgia. Maybe Uncharted. I mean,
Last
like
of Us.
Or Last of Us. Oh my gosh,
Yeah,
yes,
right.
Yeah.
So it's not. It's not something that I generally, as someone who does love video game OSTs, but that's a lot of that video game OST stuff that I love and I'm familiar with. It will go under the Nintendo titles. So yeah,
I was just thinking that like a Zelda Breath of the Wild trailer, or
absolutely,
something like that. And yeah, they pair it
Ghost and
well
Goblins.
with the imagery.
Yes,
One of my
Ghosts and
favorites
Goblins.
of all time. Like it's.
I mean, like Final Fantasy. I would like I love going to any symphony that does video game music. I think anybody should try it out because it is a feeling that you get. But yeah, it's not necessarily something at the forefront of my mind with PlayStation titles specifically.
Agreed. Well said.
Actually,
I think
the opening to PlayStation All Stars like finale by Madian just goes so hard though. Like
it's Madian though.
Yeah, so good. Like I still remember that. So
yeah,
like every once in a while, like one will grab me that way. I'm like, man, that was cool. Or like some of the older Assassin's Creed trailers.
Oh yeah,
would hit, and some of those would come out and be like, those are really good. So yeah, I think it takes the right trailer and the right way it's done. God of War Ragnarok had a few really good moments. Like
yes,
like some of they kind of allude to Kratos' past with like different musical, so it's cool. Like I do appreciate that as like a long-standing fan of some of those ideas.
Sure. I think the closest that I would this question was a great question, by the way. E3 when they first showed the trailer of God of War. And those like low strings notes when Kratos came from the shadows,
so
that
good.
was pretty awesome. But other than those things that we've noted, nothing too crazy. It's hard to compare with Nintendo's soundtracks.
Yeah, the music just hits different. I'm going to circle back around to Black Wyver because he had another question saying, apart from Astrobot, which was your next best announcement at the State of Play, it's a good question. I genuinely liked what I saw from Infinity Nikki, and I'm kind of curious to see more of it, to be honest.
That same with me. That's the one where as soon as I saw it, I'm like, my daughter's going to want to play that game. Like,
it's so pretty.
I can play that game with her, and it's just going to be. I'm trying to find an RPG for her because she's getting to that age where the games I get from Outright, she's like, I don't want to play them. I'm like, all right, that's fine. She likes Spider-Man, but I'm like, But this game looks like it's got that cute factor too, that it can get her in to learn mechanics and get different games. So right away that game stood out to me. And then Alien, just because I want to make myself poop myself. Like, because that
Be a little backed up, Court.
Oh, dude. At my age, you can't get
That's how you use horror games, man.
That game looks scary. Like, I love the Alien franchise. I watched it my whole life. It's just, oh man, that looks scary. And I'm okay with getting scared every now and then. And that one's probably one of those, like, you take your headset off and throw it on the ground. Like, it's just
right. It's a good diuretic. Yeah.
Get the poops.
Rice, what about you?
Oh, sorry. I was making fun of Court that I forgot the question.
What was the aside from Astrobot? What was your highlight from the state of play?
Oh man, honestly, it was what they were showing for not the gameplay, but the actual like cinematic was Concord. I was really invested in like the actual characters and the interactions there, so I found that kind of fun.
I think he's in.
Hey, it's I'm reluctant, but we'll see.
Hopeful. Riley?
Monster Hunter Wilds looks
dude.
I'm really excited to play that. If I can get like a group of like 3 friends online, 2 or 3 friends, like super down. Let's do it. I'm super down.
Get Court in there because he loves long boss fights.
Yeah, he loves
I'm
long
not
boss
playing
fights.
that game.
It looks cool. I feel like the flow looks a lot faster. Like that was always they have like guns in it. It had like really like machine guns and stuff. I'm like, all right, I'm kind of into that.
It looks dope. I'm incredibly in. And Black Wyver also asked, will there be a Stellar Blade spoiler cast? Maybe. It's not something we talked about, but if there's interest, it's something we can maybe drill down with. Chris Zazer writes in asking, which PlayStation character would look best in a pair of Crocs?
Oh, Kratos. Like, that's all day long. Like, just, it's so easy. He's a dad. You pick a dad.
Daddy Drake.
Put him
Daddy
in
Drake too.
Daddy Drake.
Yeah.
Put him in cargo shorts.
Totally.
Nathan Drake is a dad. I want that to be his like.
I guarantee there's already Nathan Drake with Crocs.
I also feel like Crocs would go well with anything Aloy wears. So like,
yeah.
That's a good one.
I know he's not technically a PlayStation character, but like Crocs and Crocs, right? Like you gotta get Croc and Crocs. Yeah, like
you have to.
I'm just here for the meta.
I want the next Spyro game to have Crocs, but he only gets 2. So it's like you really don't know which feet.
You have to choose which feet they go on.
Yeah. Drill down.
Oh, give us a Spidey outfit with Crocs.
Oh yes.
Miles Morales, I think, is more of a Crocs fan. Yeah, like Miles Morales. And on sport mode, like you want them in sport mode. It's just way better.
Chris in the chat, Kratos wears this in sport mode. Exactly that.
It's got to be in sports mode.
And our favorite,
I got Crocs this weekend because of Matt. Matt was like, "Oh," and then my daughter was like, "You should get a new pair." I'm like, "All right, fine."
Yeah, I might be screwed. Steve Vigvari writes in with the final question at S Vigvari. High PlayStation generation.
Yeah,
PlayStation.
He got it wrong one time.
Generation. Riley. No. He's gotten it wrong again. Long time, first time. What is your dream blunt circle of Astrobot variants? Choose 4 to 5. So let's do this. Let's build one together.
Okay.
A blunt circle of Astrobot variants. Okay. We got 4 of us here. Let's each pick one. And I think my pick to kick things off, I want Daddy Kratos. I think a nice Kratos Astrobot. I think he can get down. I think he can chill. Give him some nice indica, and I think we're off to the races. I think he'd let me play with his Leviathan axe if he was high. Court.
Easy. I don't want to take the easy Nathan Drake because that's just too easy. I gotta stay away from that one. But come back to me.
Okay,
it's a tough one because
Riley Rice.
I would say
I don't get down with that.
I'm gonna go Tommy Vercetti from GTA.
Jeez,
If we get a Tommy Vercetti Astrobot,
I was only thinking PlayStation characters. We can go anywhere.
Does it have? I don't know. I feel like that's
I like it. Your answer was funny.
Right?
It's an Astrobot variant. We can have a Tommy Astrobot. Why not?
CJ would be cool. Like those are pretty cool ones.
A little floral shirt on a little.
Yeah,
Astrobot.
right. Yeah, Tommy Vercetti Astrobot.
There you go.
Do we have a Jin Sakai Astrobot?
We did.
Oh,
We did.
We
Well,
did.
hold on,
Oh, we
hold on.
did.
Yeah,
Okay. Okay.
yeah.
So super
counts.
serious, and then when he gets ridiculously high, would be hilarious.
Just imagine sitting in one of those hot springs, just passing around a Jay.
Yeah.
Him and Kratos just like talking about all the people they've destroyed and killed while getting high.
100%. Lock in.
That's funny, dude.
I mean, you know,
It's all about honor, bro.
Court rounded out. Who's the final one? We got Kratos, we got Tommy, and we got Jin.
you gotta either have Banjo or Spyro. You just gotta
Yeah,
throw one of those.
Banjo. That's Nintendo or Xbox. You gotta go
Crash
Crash
Bandicoot.
Right? Crash
Yeah,
Bandicoot.
Crash
would be
Bandicoot.
good.
There you go.
Spyro's a good answer because he could also light it.
Yo, true.
Dual purpose.
Dual purpose.
Polygon Man.
Technically, Snoop Dogg
Polygon Man,
Snoop Dogg was a voice in NHL, so he's technically a video game character that we could have a variant.
I would also say Parappa, but
Well, that's too easy. That's like
I'm
Nathan
saying.
Drake, right?
I'm saying it's
You gotta
it's a lot.
believe.
You
Cloud
gotta believe.
Strife.
He would be depressed.
Eminem
I'm
from
sorry.
Fortnite.
I know he would be. He'd be sad boy.
He'd be sad boy. Pepsi Man. That would also
Mickey
be
from we could take anybody from the Disney
Epic Mickey?
universe. Yeah, just
Dude.
bring in Mickey.
Sack
Keep in mind,
Boy.
yeah.
You gotta get
High
Sackboy
Mickey
in there.
Mouse would be hilarious with that high pitched voice.
Can you imagine his voice just gets real low when he gets stoned? Drops like 7 octaves.
Donald. Where's my car? He's from Boston.
Gets like a Boston accent out of nowhere.
Oh, no.
I love this blunt rotation. Folks, that brings us to the end of the show. Thank you so much for tuning in. Riley, thank you for joining us. It's always
dude.
an awesome time having you hanging out with us.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Where can people find you on this World Wide Web?
You can find me on Twitter or X now at the Riley Little. Is my
The Riley
handle.
Little.
Make sure you go find
Watch
Riley.
out for the new announcement from Twitter or X today, where porn is on Twitter and X officially now.
That is.
I saw
is
that.
allowed.
I was
It
wondering
allowed
why that-
before, but now it's like
It's like official.
Yeah,
that
that's
whole
okay.
Edmonton Oilers thing that just happened recently, and for anyone who doesn't know, it's everywhere.
happened.
But like, it kept happening, and I'm like, why hasn't this been taken down? And then that message today, I was like, oh, that makes sense why that's still up
There you
over and over and over again.
Booty, 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 booty.
go. Bryce, where can people find you?
Yes, twitch.tv/Rice BOYYY TV. Gonna be heavily focusing on Destiny 2 content in the near future, and you can find me on socials at the same handle, Rice Boy TV.
Go check out Rice Boy Court. What about you?
You can find me on Twitter or X or any social media platform at Court Lalonde, or every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time for 3 Dads and a Console, or you can find my writings on Console Creatures.
There you go. Make sure you go check out all these wonderful gentlemen in all the respective places. You can find me over on X, the seminal social media platform, at Matt_SilverSoul. And of course, you can find my words here at Console Creatures and over at But Why Though. Thank you so much for tuning in, folks. Everybody be well. We will see you next week. Peace.